These are 5 mod mistakes that 73% of Toyota Tacoma owners actually make, and in today's video we're going to talk about them so you don't make them. First and foremost, not having enough information when you go to purchase a product. Now, you can make this mistake on a lot of different modifications, but the most common one that I see this happen to is the whole debate on spacer lift versus coilover lift. Now, we're going to talk about those in a little bit, but there is a lot of different conversation online about how you should avoid blocks at all costs, and I'm here to say for most people that's going to be just enough. Nonetheless, if you have the wrong information, you're going to go out and spend 4 times more money than you actually needed. Number 2 is buying the wrong suspension. So let's talk about the 2 different types. You got the block or you got the coilover and spring. Now, they both have pros and they both have cons. For most people, one is going to be way more beneficial than the other. Starting off with the block. A block is literally a block that you put into your current suspension and it gives you that lift. The pros to that is they're super affordable, easy to install. You can get them everywhere. Literally, Amazon has them, and I'll link some down below. Or you can go the other route and upgrade your truck with springs. Now, the benefit to this is the ride quality is going to be a lot better. Like I said, they both have their cons. These are more expensive versus the other ones ride a little harsher. The reason you see more people bash the spacer lifts on YouTube is because most people on YouTube build trucks for a purpose. That purpose is usually to climb Mount Everest, to go mudding, to enjoy the truck off-road. Now, I'm here to say, if you just want to have your truck look nice and pretty, lift it, put some bigger tires on it, and just have it a mall crawler, then 100% do blocks. But if you have the slightest doubt, if you have the slightest incline to go off-roading, do not get blocks. It'll only cost you more money in the long run, and we don't want to do that. And that brings us into point number 3, plan for the future. I'm currently dealing with this situation myself. Obviously, we can't predict the future. I purchased my lift kit as a set. The front I did 2.5 inches, and in the rear I did 1.5 inches. That's nice and dandy to keep the truck nice and level. But the problem is, I like to camp, I like to go out, I like to put stuff in the back of my truck. What happens is, once I start putting a lot of stuff into the back of the truck, it's going to start to sag, and that's already a problem that I'm having. If you want to lift your truck, make sure to lift the rear more than you do the front. You're going to overload the back of your truck, and it's going to be sagging on the way home, and it's going to be super embarrassing. Hopefully your significant other doesn't call you out like mine did. We were camping and Sandy, my girlfriend, was like,
"Babe, the back of the truck looks like it's sagging."
It ruined the trip. I couldn't think of anything else, which brings us into number 4, needs versus wants. That immediately turned in my want for a better rear suspension to a need, because she identified the problem, shot herself in the foot. Let's talk about it. Now, right now, I'm on 265/75 R16 tires, but I want to step up to 285s, maybe even go to 295s, but that's just a want. I do need better rear suspension. I need it because with all that weight in the back of the truck just sagging down, it's going to point your truck upwards, and it's going to really bother oncoming traffic when your low beams seem like high beams. I did not need upper control arms, but I still went out and purchased upper control arms. I should have spent that money on better suspension. Then, when I had bigger tires and I needed upper control arms, I could have done that. Number 5 is probably the worst of them all. Not knowing what comes next is probably the scariest part of upgrading your truck. I had a 2020 TRD Sport, same exact lift, but I got a vibration on that truck that I didn't get on this truck. Let me explain. That vibration you would feel right here, right in this area. And it's a vibration that comes from in there. There's a needle bearing in there that gets shredded once you lift your truck, and you have to replace it. I'll link that product down below. Problem is, I didn't know what was to come. So what I did on this truck to avoid that situation was I planned ahead. I knew that vibration could happen, so I said, might as well, once the truck is already taken apart because I took it to a shop, might as well have them install that bushing just to get rid of it. So I'm not talking about this truck like I read some forums online. No, I've lived this, and I don't want you to go through the same thing, because if you're an everyday average Joe like me, time is money, and you don't have time or money. So when you do have time and you want to enjoy your truck, the last thing I want you to deal with is a vibration. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Bye.